Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge the Lands Forever. Today, I have a 4v4 custom match here on the most amazing Neuroxus map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Team 1 up here in the northeast corner of the map, ending with Team 2 in the southwest. Starting off with the northernmost player of Team 1, it is Settlement going first land as a Cyber, and he is in Snow White, and he is a 1500. A little bit southwest of him, we have Raw Legit going first line as an Aeon. He is in Chevy Crimson at an 1800. The highest rated player on Team 1 and tied for the highest overall. To the southeast, we have Blarg 6516 going first land as a UEF in Ruby Red, matching his environment like his teammate of Raw Legit. He is a UEF, he is a 1200, and again, he's going first land. And last but not least, in the southeast, we have Maximus Triple X going first land as another Aeon. For his team, he is a 1600, and he is in Rust. So for Team 1 side of things, we have a Cybran 2 Aeon flanking a UEF, which means Team 1 has access to everything but Seraphim technology, but are dual majoring in Aeon. In the southwest, starting off with the rear guard, we have Team 2's War Machine going first land, second air. He is a 1300 in forest green as a UEF, very sensible color and faction combination. To the northeast, we have Loof, I can call him Loof for short, going first land as an Aeon. He is the highest rated player on Team 2 in Regal Purple at an 1800. Again, tied with Raw Legit for highest overall. To his southeast, we have HTTP going first and second land as a Cybran in Tropical Ocean Blue, and he is a 1200. And last but not least, in the southeast corner of Team 2's lineup, we have Sassine going first land as a Seraphim, the one and only of the game. He is a 1700 in lightish red pink. So for Team 2 side of things, they have one of each of the factions here, which means one UEF, one Seraphim, one Cybran, and one Aeon. Team 2 has access to every type of technology. Team 1, of course, does not, missing the Seraphim tech, but of course they are dual majoring in Aeon. Let's go ahead and look at the reclaim currently still on the map. 4,400, which isn't a whole lot for 8 players. About 500 and a little bit, so not terribly a lot, but not necessarily nothing. It's better than 3 or 500. Now let's take a look at mass point layouts. There aren't really a whole lot on this game. Oh, this map. We have a, I can say that's a quad mechs back here, but that's obviously firmly in Team 2's hands. There's a trimex position to the northwest. A lot of ones kind of dotted around. There is a plateau with a couple of mexes up top, a couple actually meaning 2. Nothing in the northwest corner of the map. Lots of water to hide in. I don't think we'll see a lot of action. Maybe we'll see a fire base maybe here or here, just kind of block the choke points, but I don't think we'll see a lot of action. And in the southeast, there is a little bit more water with another no, not another plateau, but just a water kind of island corner, whatever you want to call that. Not really a lot of mechs, just a couple on the coastline with a couple of hydrocarbons to flank them. So there's not going to be a whole lot of fighting over mexes. I expect a lot of mass fabs, a lot of rascoms, and a lot of aggressive engineers going after whatever reclaim is on the field from rocks or just units in general. We do see out from Sassine a scout with a, not a scout, well, it's a combat scout with a Tham hanging out here, going after some Team 1 mexes here against Maximus Triple X. He's kind of annoyed that he has to go back and forth. There's another group of that same unit, a scout and a Tham, going after the coastline. Team 2's Sassine pushing a little bit further into Team 1's territory. We even have, it looks like HTTP going to go after a couple of other mexes, trying to at least maybe cut off Maximus Triple X from the rest of his team, trying to box him in and prevent him from going into the middle. There's a really interesting upper hill plateau section. Looks like there is going to be a radar distance build here, but it does look like the engineer can't go around, can't just distance build, has to go around. That's definitely going to eat up a little bit of time. It does look like there are 2 comms for Team 1 going westward, one going almost to that corner of the map I mentioned earlier. There was a tiny scout that got by Team 1's defenses from Loaf. I think it's Loaf. I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce that. It looks French and beats me on how to pronounce a lot of French stuff. Soon, Team 1 factory building. First one upgrading says War Machine. Everyone except War Machine has left the main base. Their main base is for Team 2. Everyone on Team 1 has left as well. So we can see a little bit more firepower on the front line here for Team 1. Obviously a little bit less. But Team 1, at least 2 of the players are pumping out a lot of Team 1 support to come and assist their comms on that front line. I can see a scenario in which Stand-Up Man goes all the way west and then all the way south in this direction, trying to cut off any sort of bleeding on this little edge here and focus a lot of the attention outbound from low to this north and then east section. That way Raw Legit and him can come in from a pincer maneuver. There are a couple of upgrades going down. Speed is not the first choice here for Loaf. We call him Loaf. He's going for range first, definitely the better choice, especially with a long line to just defend against. We don't have really anything to do that. You can see these comms are really tall, but in terms of the environment, in terms of other units, once you get to the T3, T4 stages, it's kind of going to be out, not matched, but they're tall. The units are taller than, of course, the comms. We have damage and range going down here for Blarg, and we have speed and range. So, of course, Cybern versus UEF. UEF will get the bonus in hit points. Cybern will get, of course, the bonus in versatility. They, of course, have the laser. They have the torpedo ability. They have the cloaking, which is really, really nice to have. But in a one-on-one fight, especially with gun upgrades, I will definitely side with the UEF every day of the week. If it's just gun and no veterancy or anything else is included in that. We do have one little unit getting by here for Team 2's HTP into the front line and back alleys here for Team 1's Raw Legit. He's actually going eastward, going after that T1 Mechs here for Team 1's Blarg. And there are forces moving in to get a little bit closer. But both of these gun upgrades will finish off with no use here for either of those not teammates, but those players. We do have speed going on the way in the southeast for Maximus. Oh, this is team. I was like, wait a second. Aren't they on the? They're not on the same team. I was like, wait, doesn't Team 2 have every action? Sorry, I just had a brain fart for a second. Apologies for the awkward moment of silence. I was like, wait, there's A on here and A on here. And just because it was close to that front line, I was like, wait a second. But I don't know. He's on Team 1. Speed going on the way here for Raw Legit as well. He doesn't have gun range yet. He's going for gun speed. Definitely would side with range. Just again, if you're in a narrow environment like this, range isn't really that important. Speed's more important. If you're in an open area like this, range is way more important. We do see comm-on-comm action here at 8 minutes in the game between HTTP and Blarg. HTTP focusing on taking out the support first. Blarg focusing on just ramming that plasma into the back of that comm. He's taking some shots in the back himself from some Mantis, but a lot of Mantis are now just there. And they are heavily focusing on Combo Block. He is dropping very, very quickly. Going to overcharge, take out a decent amount of Mantis. Now he's going to focus on the Mantis as well. That was a huge amount of Mantis to take out in one overcharge. He is suffering a lot of hit points. HTTP is at 5,000. Blarg is at 3,000. It does look like it might be a murder-suicide situation, but the differences might be enough to save HTTP. And it is 1,800 hit points left, and Team 1 loses a player. Team 2 scores the first kill in this game. It is now a 4v3 in favor of Team 2. Maximus just a little annoyed that his teammate died off. Again, goes to the fact that one player can focus on taking out the comm, the other player can focus on taking out the units. And if there's enough units that you have left, that's really going to hurt the other team. So just something to be aware of, especially in the early game where, 10, 15 units. 10, 15 units, most games can make the difference, but especially in the early game, 10 to 15 units really can make or break killing off a comm. HTTP going for stealth first, and now we see a little bit more forward momentum here coming out from Team 2. Region or after going for gun here for Sassin. Very, very aggressive there from commanders. They can get super, super bulky, able to regen but units nearby. Lots of units getting into the water. Don't know where they're going. Maybe they thought they'd go down and up, but there's a lot of bleeding going on here on the southeastern side here. We do see a possible run by, but there are units coming in to intercept as that happens. We are seeing a couple of units outbound from Sanoman come in from that direction I mentioned earlier. But he will have a slight advantage. There's really nothing to defend from any sort of incursion. The engineers will, of course, let them know by the fact that they're dead. But Team 2 Mechs is under threat here for Team 1's Raw Legit. That's definitely going to hurt. His eco does get a couple of blazes. We'll deal with those mantis very, very quickly. But Team 2 is pushing decently far forward. They are past the 50% line in this game for the middle and the southeast. The northwest is kind of just there. Not really a lot of tactical advantage up here. Just, you know, there's a small entryway for hover and plateau. No, neither players on no team, no one on any of the teams, either of the teams, have gone for those 2 mexes. There we go. Really struggling with my words there. Apologies for that. Maximus trying to force back this incoming horde of Team 1 units back from Sassine. He has the speed and range, does not have advanced range yet, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him go for that soon. Stealth almost completed. He might go for nano. He's already ripped up back over 50%, almost 50%. Maybe he'd go for nano. He is kind of far forward, but he does have a decent amount of mantis support, so he can easily, you know, just disengage and go after any units that are inbound. We are seeing Sassine moving in to push back Maximus. Maximus constantly pushing forward. Sassine going after a reclaim more than anything else. Both players really need a lot of mass to just pump out units, of course. Does look like Team 1's Maximus has a little bit less units, and he's dealing with a possible incursion from the west. He doesn't want any units to go in either from this way, or this way. But there's a nice group of Team 1 and TT units here for Raw Legit. And there are wall sections being built to try to hoard or hold off any sort of incoming units. There was a transport. Does look like it dropped off some engineers, and there's Sparkies as well. Look at this damage that's going down. All of these units are diverted back northward, which means they are constantly distracted, which would give the opportunity for Team 2's, you know, Tropical Ocean Blue player of HCP to push forward. And he is moving into the wall section, but hasn't pushed in as of yet. Oblivions are being built to assist with defensive measures. Large amounts of Team 1 units are inbound. I would have been nice to see him just come and assist this and just push Maximus out, but he is moving northward. Those Sparkies, I mean, they're being dealt with slowly, going after some, again, T2 Mexes. This isn't the main base here for Sanoman. This is the main base. T2 power generator is under threat. Couple of triads might be enough to take that out. Does take it up, but the reclaim order gets off just in time, which means it does not explode. And this attack in the southeast is actually pretty a lot faster than I thought it was. Sassine is actually dropping very quickly. More PD are being built, and of course Maximus trying to hold off the floodgates by himself. Overcharge takes out a couple of units, and Team 2's HCP is inching forward slowly but surely. He could deviate some. He could move in some units to the east. There is a nice little triumph being built with Team 1 PD to support it, and that will force back the Mantis entirely. Of course, now we're having a fight between Sassine and Maximus, and Sassine went too far forward, and with the Oblivion PD online as well, he is dead in the water, or on land, I guess in this case, and Team 2 loses their first player. We have Team 2's HCP moves forward as well, but all those units that chased off those Sparkies earlier on are now already back on the front line and are pushing HTT back. He is surrounded by units. He might be going for suicide, it says Sassine, but HTTP is surrounded. All of his support is gone, and now the entire focus will be on him pretty soon. There are T2 places constantly just pushing against him, and actually a lot of these units are actually ignoring him, trying to get out of range of the explosion that will eventually occur. We even see some pillars in the mix as well. ASF over the top here for Team 2's War Machine, which means Team 3 air facilities have been completed. And then goes HTTP a couple seconds or a minute after his teammate up Sassine. It went from a 4v3 to a 2v3 very, very quickly. But Team 2 has had a huge breakthrough with low here on this western side, completely pushed back Sanoman. Team 1, plugs one hole, and then there's another hole opens up. And then Sassine guess I suicide at the wrong time. Honestly, no, because that would have happened regardless. HTTP might have gone in a little bit more, but he still would have died there anyways. We do see those units moving into Raw Legit's base. He should be perfectly fine. He has a lot of T2 support nearby. Oblivion tanks as Obsidian tanks as well. And it does look like Team 1 Saddleman has some nano on board to protect his commander, going, of course, for the air grid expansion in the southwest. We see the same kind of thing. Team 2's entire front line will be governed solely by Loof, or keep saying the same, different names, Loaf. And we do see Raw Legit, of course, has control of the skies for the time being, at least, governing the air assets here for Team 2. And Team 1, I mean, they're losing a lot of ground, but Team 2 isn't gaining that ground. They're just taking it away from Team 1 and saying, okay, that's enough, see you, bye. And we have a couple of T3 Harbingers on station 15 minutes in this game. They're pushing forward. This could be not necessarily the most threatening thing on the map so far, especially with all that T2 support up here. But again, it's a lot of ground to cover, and when a 4v4, you lose a couple players, especially for Team 2, it makes it very hard. He has to micro the entire front line. Front line for Team 1 is divvied up essentially, not necessarily on this line, but Team 1's Maximus has this side, and Raw Legit has this side. Obviously, everything extends over here, and maybe Sandman will send some units back in. But it is going to be a race to how fast both air players can build facilities. They're being spammed up as quickly as they can be. I'm surprised to not see a bomber. I haven't seen a lot of first bombers out in a while, some T3 strap bombers from the air players. Kind of interesting that they're not really going for that. Not a lot of players are going for that strategy. Raw Legit pushes forward into some Harbingers and goes, that's probably not a good idea. Loses all of his shield and is losing hit points very, very quickly. His Obsidian turrets come in to assist, takes out the other Harbinger. Sandman comes in from the back line, drops in, gets an overcharge in, takes the shield out of that Harbinger, and he's being very aggressive with that commander. He has nano on board, so 84 hit points a second. Probably wants some veterancy on that commander. Can't blame him in that regard. They are desperately defending with ACU Assassin. Team 1 does not have a lot of ground forces in terms of overall. There is a nice little Ilshi over here to the east. The Oblivion turrets, or Oblivion PD, are trying to deal with it. One is taken out. Team 2's Loaf is just trying to micro that as best as he can. Bomber is inbound to assist. Will EMP that. Shot comes in, takes him out. But, that little Ilshi can do a decent amount of damage. There is a push north here for Team 2's Loaf, trying to intercept any sort of engineers or movement that way. We do see somebody finally grabs those mexes up there on the northwest plateau. And at 18 minutes in this game, almost half of the players are gone. 5 remain. 2 for Team 2, 3 for Team 1. Transport inbound laden with some Sparkies, I would imagine, coming out from War Machine, and they are spotted, and they're going to drop on top of this base here for Team 1's Maximus. They're going to immediately build some T1 PD. Same move that happened earlier on, and counter T1 PD is being built as we speak here. Taking out the T1 facilities, should be going after probably the T2 facility or the Mexes, whatever the case may be. Lots of PD were built. The engineers are killed off. Doesn't really matter. No defenses could be erected in time now. More T1 PDs are being built. This makes up for me not covering the drop earlier on up north. This is way more effective because of the fact that there's no units here for Maximus to use, and this entire base is going up in smoke very, very quickly. He's actually going to be forced to retreat immediately because he's going to have no support, and all the units actually are ignoring him. He's going, all these units outbound here from Loaf is moving northward, probably trying to intercept the other base here for Raw Legit. And though that base is gone, it was there, and then it was not. Definitely a advocate for more of these Sparky drops. They're very effective if your enemy is not have enough support inside their main base. It could be devastating. As illustrated, they can build now T1 facilities to start reclaiming everything. There's a couple of PD back here, but don't know if it's going to make the difference. The entire base is gone. All that core mass is dead in the water. Ilshi's moving in, going after this base. Of course, the Triad's having a hard time shooting due to the fact that there is a little bit of hill that the Ilshis are using to hide. Pillars trying to intercept. They will slow it down a little bit, but not enough to really make a difference. There are some Pigeons under threat. Lots of units trying to plug the hole. And that was the downside with building the wall this way, is it doesn't cover this attack vector. You can see the Ilshi's going straight forward. T1 Mexes, T2 Mexes, any sort of viable resourcing options. Pigeon's about to explode here in a couple of seconds. 120. There it goes. Takes out, I think, one engineer. The Triads are still online. They're doing a decent amount of work, essentially keeping the base online for the time being. But it does look like those Ilshis will get past that front line and do a decent job of actually getting into the rear. There are some bombers that are trying to fly overhead. There is an T2AA flak cannon. E-storage goes down. There goes some of that overcharge capabilities, but there is a transport overhead trying to do something, but that's not going to do a whole lot, unfortunately. Engineers trying to build T1 PD. They might save one of the Mexes, but I don't know if they're going to save all three of them. One of them's already down. Second one is being targeted. The AA cannon has been EMP'd, but I don't know if it's going to be enough here for Team 1 to stave off that attack. Well, they will eventually, but Team 1's raw legit just control Ks. Hold on. Is that just naturally, or did he lose connection? I don't see anything from him in chat. So probably just was kind of fed up with the game and how it was going. Now that the departure of Raw Legit, it is now a 2v2 game. Team 1 has Sanoman and Maximus XXX, and Team 2 has War Machine and Loaf. Let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win this game at 21 minutes in this, well, not cast, but at least the replay so far. Team 1 at 273 mass, Team 2 at 320, so about 30 mass more than their opponents. Map control definitely in the hands of Team 2, especially when you add this little bit of chunk here. All the engineers have died. Probably would have gone for maybe some Team 1 facilities just to start reclaiming. But the fire base that Maximus is trying to build to hold off this triad base is it's slow, but it is coming up online. He will gain control of most of that front line, with Sanoman taking a little bit of that northwest front line as well. Bombers are inbound, looking for the comm, I would presume. Well, nope, they're going to go after units. Nope, they're just going to ignore all that and go after the T1 mechs. Could have gone after the radar. It's upgrading to T2, so get a nice amount of vision. We do see the air grid here for Team 2's War Machine being very, very plump, very, very quickly, getting secondary and tertiary air grids. Love to see it. Don't want everything exploding at once, cascading and losing everything. Might as well lose some than lose all. Gunships are online here. These whalers, they're good medium between the broadsword and the restorer. We saw last cast yesterday. Restorer and broadsword, very, very good combo in that game. One, of course, primarily focused on AA, one primarily focused on air to ground, but that Harbinger lineup is incoming here. There is a T3 Pigeon essentially very far forward. Don't know why it's there. Should be like back here. And those Harbingers are inbound. They're encountering those whalers. T3 mechs also under threat. Couple of PD have been built for defensive measures, and those Harbingers are coming in. We'll take out that T3 mechs, but won't take out much of anything else. We'll take out a couple of engineers, but don't know if they'll get any more out of that. The Aurora coming in. They're taking out the engineering support, of course. More PD are being built to defend. Again, I don't understand why that quantum reactor is there, but it's there, I guess. It does look like Maximus has claimed his original base. It's really not looking too well, but at least he's claimed it. Lots of purple on the map. You can see Team 2 just constantly pushing forward. Team 1 has to constantly be on the defensive. They can't go after anything realistically in Team 2's front or even back line for that matter. You can see everything's perfectly fine. Just a normal day in the office kind of thing. Assist one of these with NGs. Pump out flak. Looks like they're talking about a need for T2 anti-air defenses. There are those whalers starting to be built up. Don't want a huge gunship ball going to be established, especially, of course, restorers / broadswords. But any sort of gunship ball is very, very deadly because you can easily just snipe somebody if they can get close in range. And you can just compare the air grid here for Soundman to that of War Machine. There is. Actually, I can show you the actual difference. Here we go. I'm going to actually use the split screen. Here's the air grid, and here's the air grid. And one is being built up a lot faster and a lot, spread out than the other one. We're trying to get more pigeons out. But, again, War Machine will have the better end of the deal for now for air forces. Team 1 has some, but they're focused more on gunships, which will give the edge to Team 2 for just ASF production entirely. But there is a monkey on that front line here for Team 2's Loaf, and he is ripping through the rest of Maximus's old base. Man, he is just suffering this game. Gunships coming in, taking out the Monkey Lord. Of course, the AA intermixed here with that land army. He's trying to do its job. Lots of hit points to take off those gunships, and the ASF do fight. Does look like Team 1 does have air control for the time being. That Monkey Lord does die off. Maximus will be happy with that. He's being chased by Ilshis. That's a lot of Ilshis to be chased by. Gunships probably need to get out of there, start taking out the AA. You always want to shoot the stuff that's shooting at you first, or that can shoot at you, and then move on to something else. More whalers are coming in for support. Dryads hastily being built to defend. I would like to see an attack come out from the west, but it's a lot of just Team 1 support, and there are a decent amount of defenses online, so that doesn't really matter a whole lot. Spam factories are being established in the north here for Loaf as well. And Maximus is starting to be swarmed here. There are some Harbingers in for assistance. More Triads are being built. Should have gone for Team 1 PD for the rapid fire nature of them. But they are doing a decent job of holding off that Ilshi threat. Harbinger is still online. They're targeting the engineers, I think, and actually they're targeting the Triads first. They probably could have actually killed the... I don't know if they would have killed the Comm, but they've done a decent job of it. There are some bricks coming in for support as well. But those Ilshis will be diverted, at least eastward for the time being. There are more Whalers coming in to assist as well. And there's no AA anymore, which means they have full range to act of their own accord. And there are just more... It's just more and more bleeding. You're bleeding over here to the east. You're going to start having bleeding probably in the northwest and over here as well. Team 1 is constantly on the defenses. The game lasts almost an hour, so you can kind of tell that this game's not going to end just with this push, or just with another push maybe to the north. You can see it is inbound here. Spam factories are producing those Team 1 tank. Actually, they're Team 1 Fervors, actually. They're mobile artillery. It is inbound. The radar is down. The comm is trying to be used very aggressively for defense. Aggressively defensive is the word that I would use. SMD is online here for Sonoman. Maybe there is a nuke maybe planned. Nope, just more facilities being established for air production. Don't see much of anything else, honestly. T3 Harbingers trying to just rinse through all these other T1 engineers, trying to claim all the reclaim for themselves. Attacks still coming in from the northwest. Couple of tanks do make their way into the frontline facilities. It is going to take a while to chew through, but there are some of those Whalers inbound to help assist. There are some leakage going on here in the north, and the entire base here for Maximus is just hanging out. Again, don't know why this Pigeon is here. I'm glad that he's going for some defenses and, again, a shield, but don't know why this is here. It should be back here. There are some T3 units mixed into this attack, and an Asylum mobile shield, and another brick as well. Lots of AA support, lots of firepower on the ground. Settleman is trying to do his best to stave off the incoming threat. Has to constantly move around just due to the fact that there are artillery constantly firing at him. One bomber makes it in. Don't know what he's going for, but he's going to drop on something. But it doesn't look like that Whaler will give him the chance to do so, at least for the time being. A couple of Fervors do make it past. They're going to take out maybe... No, they're not going to get a T3 mix. And the engineers immediately just rep that back up. Does look like those T3 units have fallen back for the time being. Team 1 has been on the back foot for a while. Definitely with the departure of Raw Legit. Definitely did not assist with that. There are more NGs on approach here. Another Sparky drop is inbound going for this position. They do get pinged here by Team 1. And looks like, trying to move in. The ASF come in to assist. That ASF gets immediately taken out. Drop will commence. It will make it. And immediately some T1 PD are being established. Some Sparkies are going after those engineers, of course. It's going to be T1 PD versus T1 PD. But it does look like one of them is built. Indies are going to start being taken out. but they will move out of range of that T1 PD. That's what the third Spark you drop this game. Try anything to move NGs here. No, is that Sassine made that comment? Yeah, Sassine made that comment. But a nice attack force of T3 units mixed in with a couple of T1s and T2s. Inbound for this base here for Team 1's Maximus Triple X. The column of Sandalman is nearby for support. That is a decent amount of firepower inbound. You should probably start getting under some shield coverage for protection. This base might survive, but it's going to take a beating. That T3 Pigeon being a prime target for damage and destruction. Team 2 has now claimed the southeastern corner of the original base for Maximus. He's fallen back to the UEF base that was once belonged to Belarg. Of course, this was Raw Legit's original base as well. It does look like that attack is shoved off for the time being. More and more tickle cannons are being built here by Sandalman for defenses. He has built an experimental. Has he gone for Monkey? Yes, he has. It is the cheaper of the two land experimentals for Cybrans. IMO factories, but need mass to produce ASF. That is the downside with air facilities. You just need a ton of mass to fuel that economy. You need a ton of mass for anything. But if you're trying to mass produce ASFs, you obviously need massive amounts of mass. And if you don't have that, that's great. I would probably like to see Team 2 maybe loaf hand off this section. I mean, it's a couple of mexes, but it's 27 mass. That does add up. There's another one up here you can probably throw into the mix as well. That does add up after a while, so we would like to see a little bit more sharing here between the players on Team 2, but you're trying to micro an entire I was going to say lane, but front line, that's the word I'm looking at. Man, what a game scene. Yeah, it's kind of petered out in terms of excitement. I'm going to speed it out just a little bit. I'll do 2. Does look like there's another drop of Sparkies, because why not? Does look like there is that Monkey Lord moving in to push back this attack in the east. There's a lot of Ilshis in this mix, a couple of flat cannons, actually a decent amount of flat cannons. And those ASFs outbound from Team 1 do fall back. And Team 2 looks like they have the better end of the deal, of course, with ASF numbers. But there are those whalers to consider. Lots of Harmagers on the front line for defensive measures. Monkey is inbound, just ripping through all those engineers that have decided to try to reclaim. And one Sparky survives. Does look like he's trying to scoop up whatever he can from his dead Baratherin. But this front line is collapsing very, very quickly. There wasn't really a lot here to begin with. And that's the hard part with having quick gains, is you get it really quickly and then you can lose it really quickly. You got to establish layered defenses. I would have liked to see maybe a fire base here for these mexes, and then try to establish a fire base here for those mexes. But it does look like that Monkey Lord is going to shove off that attacking force of T2 units. There are a lot of T3 units inbound here from the west, trying to cut off the advancement of that Monkey Lord. A lot of AA, lot of Ilshis. How many Ilshis? 52. That's a ton of Ilshis. You can easily swarm that Monkey Lord. Monkey Lord, though, the laser can attack a little bit further out than the Ilshis can. So it does look like the Monkey's going to be just used as a, hey, you get close enough, I'm going to force you back. Okay, I'm going to go back. I'm going to force you back. Go back. Force that kind of thing. And a Megalith was noted by HTTP, which means Team 1's probably building it. Yep, Soundman is producing it as we speak. Would like to see maybe a couple of hives to assist that, but engineers are fine for now. Not a lot of air facilities compared to his mirror, but kind of hard because this is more of a blocky shape, and that's well, they're both blocky, but one's a more square shape and one's a more elongated shape. Monkey Lord is there we go. I will slow it down just a little. Oh, it's over here. It's actually been controlling by Maximus, so that way Sandalman can divert to other operations. The grab has been completed here for Team 1. Mass income's actually flipped. Team 1's ahead at 713 versus Team 2 600. We need T3 already at some point, I guess, says War Machine. I guess? What do you mean, I guess? It is 34 minutes in this game. You got to be thinking about how to end it. Shouldn't really be necessary, but maybe, says Cecina. And you're starting to be low on mass. Obviously, they don't know the numbers like we do. Honestly, that probably would be a good idea. Team 1's being very defensive. Of course, they've been defensive the entire game. I would be very surprised if they switch stances and go full aggressive mode. So this would be the time to build up here for Team 2. That is one thing I've noticed here in FAF, is if you push the enemy, you get them to, fall back, and then you notice they're not really pushing back against you. It's eventually you kind of push a little more and you go, I'm going to not do that for like 5 minutes and focus on my other things, because usually you've probably gained more territory, you have more mass income, you can start diverting to other, projects, going for either mass fabs or RASCOMs. We even have a secondary air grid being built here by Team 2's frontline player of Loaf, probably for either gunships or just ASFs in general. If you win air enough, you could just strat them, honestly. That would be enough. Sassine building gunships already, says War Machine. I mean, they are a nice set of gunships, the broadswords. Wouldn't do stingers, no. That's like you need something immediately kind of thing. And at that point, I might as well go T1 bombers versus T2 Stinger gunships. Stingers are not worth it. Both these are worth it. Stingers are not. Monkey Lord still patrolling the southeastern side. At least Maximus has reclaimed his old base territory. It's just kind of hard to see that. Well, I don't think... Well... because that's UEF. Yeah, there's definitely... Anyway. No, they were over here a little bit. They were a little bit over... No, because you have 1, 2... Yeah, it was 3 right here. So that 1, 2... Why does that... Oh, because it was down here. Oh, it's mirrored. Like, why does that map look weird? It's because it's mirrored this way instead of the other way. Anyway. I had a little another brain fart here today. It is Sunday as of recording this video. I'm trying to get a couple of videos ahead just in case I need to take a day off. I am traveling. Actually, I will have to take a day off in a couple of weeks. I'm going on a cruise. As of recording, 2 weeks from today, it's yesterday. So it's going to be a week cruise, so I'm trying to build up all the videos. So there is a daily FAF cast released at a minimum. We do see naval units being built. Actually, no, we don't. We see engineers being built going for anti... You're using a T1 factory to make T1 AA turrets. Those DA1s. That's it. I mean, maybe you're trying to prevent some sort of, bombers coming in from the eastern edge, but T1 AA is definitely not the way to do that. And you might as well just put a transport up here and put them up here anyways. Other ACU is there-ish, but with stealth. Probably talking about Man. More anti-nuke missiles being built here. Lots of T3 units pumping out here by both teams. T4, we have a Fatboy. Always love to see these on the map. Very, very aggressive. I like the design of the the Fatboy in this version. Supreme Commander 2, which we don't really talk about because it wasn't really a great game. The design for the Fatboy was interesting. It was definitely, I wouldn't say it was bad. It was different. It didn't have a shield. That part I didn't like, but it was essentially designed where if you cut out the middle sections, you had essentially the 4 wheels. It was kind of like a interesting little diamond. It wasn't a bad design. It wasn't great, and it's obviously, speaking of the Fatboy, it gets killed off. Airfight does occur essentially over the front line of Team 1. Team 2, and in this view, you can definitely tell Team 2 has the amount of ASFs to really gain air dominance in this game. But with a Monkey Lord and a Crab online, Team 1 has the land forces to push back with. And Team 2 actually losing a decent amount of those ASFs as well, just due to the turns. And there is some AA in the area, not a lot. There's a little bit. And there they go. All those ASFs are dead. And the push to the north has commenced here for Team 2's Loaf with a Colossus in tow. It is moving in to intercept. Tickle Cannon's trying to deal with those Asylum mobile shield generators. Not really doing a whole lot if they're not protecting the actual units. But the Crab and the Monkey are moving into assist. This is the time. There it is. The command has been given to at least move forward a little bit. All these units are moving northward. You got to shove it eastward right now. Just send all those units eastward and split Team 1's focus. Attack does commence, of course, from the side. And the attack actually stops and actually retreats for a little bit. Don't agree with that. I mean, yeah, you don't want to dump a bunch of mass on your enemy's doorstep. But that was probably the feint. Yep, okay, there we go. The command has been given to just go straight east and then north. Kill this before air goes up. I wish you had those little camera icons there, Sassine, so I know what you're talking about. Navy, says Sassine, but it's not really doing anything. T2 is actually underway, going to produce, I think, a destroyer and then a bunch of cruisers. Going to lock out air on the southeast corner, but it's only a little bit. You can easily just fly over that way. I understand, but it's not there, and the broadswords are on their way, going straight essentially to the corner, then all the way taking out this facility. T2 is underway, and don't know if anything will really get done here. Entire line moving to the east to deal with that nonsense over there. Team 1 does end up breathing a sigh of relief because Team 2 just retreats. Don't understand that. There go those broadswords. ASFs aren't inbound here from Team 1, but it doesn't look like they're going to fully commit due to the ASF bubble that's built up behind them. That facility wasn't going to get anywhere anyways. And it's not really super useful. I get what he was getting at. I get the purpose, but should have just been up here. Should have just been static and been done with it. At least it would have been a little bit harder to get, at least for those ground forces. But the attack is commencing here. We have some bricks. We have a lot of Ilshis, a couple of shields, a lot of T1 spam in terms of some Medusa, those mobile artillery. We have AA flak in the mix and T3 AA as well. These Percies are forced to retreat. Definitely the unit I would use because they just have that high alpha damage. Flying your ASFs over that horde of flak and lightning, not the best idea. A lot of AA is being built for defensive measures, particularly for that. Those ASFs are just riddled, just annihilated here. All the spy planes get killed off. But Team 2 is going to push that wall forward. Team 1 does not have enough defenses. They're building another Fatboy, which will finish and definitely assist with that defensive measure. But Team 1 needs something else. Strap Bombers came in, took out a ton of that air grid. They're going to come in for a second round. A secondary air grid was built. Going to probably go after more of it. Their bombs are dropping. There it goes. Going after the PGen. Shields are down. And there goes another cascade, taking on another section of them. The Strap Bombers might finish off that entire column. Let's see. They get one. They get two. ASFs coming once again. Team 1's ASF production is severely halted. They have lost the headquarters. Teleporter is online for Sano. Oh, it's coming online here for Sano Man. Does look like Team 2 just throws away their air force. I mean, they, of course, have the advantage due to the fact they have air facilities. Well, more air facilities than Team 1 does, but don't know if the ASF was really needed for that. But the attack on the eastern edge, they're lining up, but they're not moving forward. And this is huge here for Team 1. The longer this stays here, the more time the Fatboy has to fire at these units, which means the more units are killed off. And that attack just retreats anyways. No ground is gained. Nothing really happens with that. And all this mass is being scooped up as we speak, to be fair. But it's just going to sit here, not really being used for a whole lot. Or not really, it's not being used to gain ground, hold ground, take stuff out, whatever the case may be. Definitely not the best use. That's what I will say. And I get what Team 2's Loaf is trying to do. He's trying to attack on multiple fronts. And like, oh, I'm going to go over here, and now I'm going to go over here, and now I'm going to go over here. I get that, but all that does is Team 1 can focus on one side at a time instead of taking out time to deal with both sides at the same time. So the feint was really nice over here to the west earlier on, but this attack needed to be a lot closer to really be effective. Now the Fatboy going to be produced already almost in the green. That's producing very, very quickly here for Maximus. Going to go for a satellite here soon. Probably should get a shield, knowing that Team 2 has built Strap Bombers in the past. T3 Air Headquarters is back online. Sandalman has teleporter, gun, and laser. And is there anything he can go after in the south? The air grid, lots of broadswords are being built, so has to be very careful with that. What would I go after? Monkey Lord, definitely don't go over that if you know about it. Nope, doesn't really know about it. Let's see, what does he know about? Lots of air forces flying around. Well, that's what he sees at least. War Machine being protected by a bunch of broadswords, has some defensive measures. Probably shouldn't stand next to the SMD, to be fair, but there could be arguments for both. Spy planes over the top to get a nice readout on what's going on. Lots of PD being built to defend all of those T3 mexes with dual layered mass fabs. That's a lot of eco here for Team 2. Team 2 still behind Team 1. Team 1, the lead is shortening a little bit, but they're still in it for... Well, no, maybe not. Hold on. Was that power? Maybe that was just a power issue. Oh, yeah, look. Oh, yeah, that's definitely a power issue. That is, you can see the number just freaking out up there at the top. So, yeah, that's definitely what's going on. So Team 2 definitely producing a lot more mass than Team 1. Just can't show it due to the fact that Team 2's frontline player of Loaf doesn't have the energy. Where is where's my E going? That's definitely the word I would use. Is where's it going? It's like I had it and then it all disappeared. Team 1 artillery trying to go after some defenses. Not really worth it. 18,000 reclaim there. Assist the scene. Energy being shifted over to Loaf to be able to float that for now. Let's see, has he fixed his issues yet? Nope, still draining. Wow, what is going on with that? The calm of Team 2 Sentiment teleports down here and gets out of dodge, assassinates a couple of mexes and says, see ya. He goes back to his main base. Broadswords come in immediately and go, where'd they go? Yeah, if he had gone somewhere else, he would have probably been killed off. He needs to do assassination missions, just small ones. Kill air, says Loaf. Yeah, there's not a lot of gunships here. I don't know where they're going. The calm of Loaf is actually getting into the water to hide down here, which could be a good idea. The gunships will not get to him in time. But Team 2, do they notice? Yep, they do look like they pulled back. So it does look like Team 1 was looking for that snipe and was not going to happen as the calm got in the water. Team 1, is he teleporting again? No, it don't look like he has any sort of goals in mind. You can now see Team 1 gaining a little bit more ground, trying to get back to that 50% mark they had at the beginning. But that's a lot of broadswords. And that monkey is DED. There he goes. There he goes. There he goes. Surround him. Surround. Laser the sky, boys. Laser the sky. Get the fat boy. Get the fatty. Get him. Get him. Get the fatty. And then there they go. They just dip and say, we did our mission. We got out of there. See you, bye. Need a lot more AA to just combat all of those gunships. You know, even though he lost probably a wing or even a squadron, so 6 to 12, still picking out 2 experimentals helps a ton on that front line, and now the land forces will move in to assist. Laser over the top here for Team 2 does for Team 1 does get noticed by Sassine. We see some shields being built immediately to deal with that. I love how there's just a couple of mass fabs, not a lot, just enough to reduce the income on that. Of course, they do produce one. That's really weird. This one says it's owned by War Machine, and then this one says it's producing. This isn't on pause either. Yeah, this one's owned by War Machine, but it's not telling me the. That's really weird that some of them do and some of them don't. I wonder how many he has. 124. So 124 mass income just from mass fabs. That's 20% roughly. That's a decent, actually probably a little bit over that. That's a decent amount of mass income just from those singular, like the Team 2 mass fabs. Emissary is planned here for Team 1. Another crab being built. More shields being built to protect that air grid. Secondary air grid also getting shielding. Another crab up here. So dual crabs being built by Team 1 for defensive measures. Dual Colossi is en route. Lots of flags to combat those gunships. Gunships are going to do a decent amount of damage, though. They are getting ripped to shreds by that flag. They need to get out of dodge sooner rather than later, though. Crab is moving in to intercept. This is a nice little army interaction here. This line of Harbingers trying to spread themselves thin to defend. Tickle cannons doing what they can to defend as well. The gunships are being, of course, ripped to shreds. There are bricks back here. The first Colossus is down. Second Colossus immediately turns around, and that rest of those forces do retreat. And ASF's coming to wipe out the rest of those gunships. But Team 1, I mean, they're holding strong for now. It looks like they might divert northward and then eastward. But again, even if they go this way and north, they still have to get through this narrow neck of environment, which means it is a lot of bottlenecking. The pathing just goes crazy there. Very, very slow. You need to watch out for that. Large armies needs a lot of room. Small armies need not as much room. And now Team 1 will be able to claim this reclaim. Dropped, a nice probably 20, 30,000 on their doorstep for not a whole lot of mass lost. We have another army down here commanded by a Monkey Lord. There's another Fatboy built in the base. Of course, Satellite is in this base here. Lots of engineering support. Maximus is hanging out underneath some UEF shielding. Of course, in my opinion, a lot better than Aeon, but, that's neither here nor there. Everyone has their favorites depending on the situation. I just prefer the Seraphim and UEF, obviously because I'm partial to UEF, and Seraphim just look really good. Monkey is moving in, though, trying to spearhead that front line. Fatboy is doing a lot to dissuade a lot of incoming threats. There are a decent amount of Triad support as well. Ravage is going to be built for that longer range as well. And yeah, it's not looking good. The Monkey Lord actually, is going to retreat. Maybe they're going to try to go around. I mean, they could probably go this way, but that's not going to work because of all the Percy's there. It's just Team 1 every time. Oh, what is this? Hold on, let's slow it down a little bit. Let's click on War Machine. Let's click on you. Let's click on Track. We can go back to full vision. Go back. The broadswords are inbound. ASF's over the top. Protect the broadswords. Oh, dang it. I lost the tracking because I moved my camera. Here they go. They're moving on that eastern edge. We have Cybran ASFs trying to get into the way of those ASFs and gunships. All those UEF air forces are going to be perfectly fine. Here comes the edge attack I was waiting for a while ago. It was going to look like it was going to happen earlier on. The broadswords get past that front line. There's some AA defenses. Now the mass assassination starts. Oh, there goes that. They ping going after those T3 Myrmidons, those T3 Samsites. Emissary is online, very much under threat here. Lots of AA is being built up as fast as it can be. And there goes the shield generator. It's down. Target the P-gens. There you go. There's one. There's two. Takes out the SMD as well. They'll target the crab, which, I mean, is fine, but they could be going after. Pings go down, going like, hey, they're building an emissary. Take out mass. Take out something else. You've already spent the mass on this crab. Having one more crab is going to do a whole lot, to be honest with you. And there goes the P-gens. SMD, not SMDs. AA is being built as quickly as it can be. Shields are going to fall here pretty shortly. There they go. P-gen takes out that emissary that was being built. Wasn't super far along, but still the progress was lost. And now a lot of ASFs. I mean, was it worth it? I don't know. It takes out more P-gens. Takes out more air defenses. There are more and more being built as we speak, of course. Attack did commence in the northwest. Didn't really get very far. That's another dump on Team 1's doorstep. They, of course, lost a crab, but they have another crab for defense. ASF's flying around. So I honestly don't know. Strat bombers are inbound for the comm. Comm is trying to teleport out of there. They're not even attacking the comm. What is going on? What? Oh, now they noticed the comm. I don't think they saw the comm there because of... I don't know. He don't have some stealth on board. ASF's trying to protect the comm. Comm is teleporting out of there. Bomb does not drop. More bombers are inbound. Oh, and he will die before he teleports. 52 minutes in this game. War Machine says GG. And honestly, that actually might be GG for the game. Wow, says Soundman. Why weren't you under shields? Why weren't you under XYZ? A couple of units actually did get by that front line. And now it is a 2v1 scenario. Team 2 has War Machine and Loaf online and alive. Team 1 has Maximus left. He has an incoming attack to deal with. Those gunship, weird game. Yes, weird game for sure, says Asin. Don't really know what happened with these land attacks. They've been somewhat successful. Now the attack on the east looks like it's going to materialize a decent amount. Velocis is trying to come in to intercept. And I feel like at this point we might be able to speed it up a couple. Soundman was just hanging out here. Strap bombers didn't even know he was there until they showed up. Like, oh, there's a comm there. Probably should go after it. My grid got stratted. Yeah, but you got it back. Could have built more ASF. Could have built more SMDs, whatever the case may be. Fatboy is engaging at close range. Secondary guns are firing, of course. That's how you know it's too close for the Fatboy. Monkey Lord just going to try to edge it out. Colossus is going to come in from the side. Does look like that Monkey Lord will be able to out-walk or crawl or whatever the word you want to use. And those Ilse's just ripping into the side of that Colossus. Tickle cannons coming online to help defend. And let's see, how does the air facilities look? There's another horde of gunships inbound here. And it is not looking good here for Team 1 on this eastern side. Ilse's are still running around down here. There's some mongoose in that group as well. There goes the... Honestly, didn't really get a whole lot of work done, to be honest. Explosion happened somewhere. Oh, it took out a Rascon by that satellite. Oh, no, there's that Monkey Lord still on the edge of the map. The gunships are inbound to support said Monkey Lord. Yep, they're coming in to assist. Colossus is nearby. 2 Fatboys. Not a lot of AA. Monkey Lord will now come in and deal with the rest of that air grid. ASFs do come in and go after those ASFs, but now the gunships going after that Colossus, and now they're going to go after the pigeons. They take out one of the pigeons, take out the other one, and there goes the rest of that air grid. And, oh, there goes a line of AA defenses as well. The Colossus is perfectly fine. That needs to keep going northward. Fatboy is inbound for the other air grids that are being built as we speak. 50,000 reclaim there, says Sassine. Don't know what he's talking about, but I mean, he's talking about in comms or something. I don't know. Doesn't have the little picture icon. 16 there. Monkey Lord just ripping through shields, ripping through defenses. There it goes. He's taken out, but I think the death blow might have been given. There's another attack inbound from the southeast. Again, lots of units just sitting under shield coverage here for Team 1 for defensive measures. ACU still there. 25 strats, and he's dead in 1 pass. And that might be what's happening. Let's see, do we see any strats? No, we don't see any strats yet. Laser now going to go after comm. The War Machine's comm. Oh, the shields are down. Looks like there's a power outage. War Machine have issues with power. Oh, he is having some power issues. That's not great for him, especially underneath a satellite attack. Oh, he's getting his shields back online, so that's good. Looks like he's getting a power situation handled. 56 minutes in this game. It's about to close out. And there goes a couple more units coming in from that attack earlier on. There's a Colossus up here that they can scoop up. A lot of reclaim over here. Lots and lots of reclaim. Currently still on the map, we have 300,000 reclaim. 57 minutes in this game. A lot of it obviously on Team 1 side of the map. I think it was just due to the fact that Team 1 was constantly attacked, constantly on the defensive, constantly could not just build up enough defenses to just hold out. Great, says HTTP. Yep, there is 1 monkey and 2 colossi over here to the west. That's not going to go good for that front line. Don't know if Team 1 really has anything else to fight back. They have 1 satellite for long range. They are going back for that emissary. It just might be a little too late at this point. Still E issue, says... Loaf, yeah, I don't know what his E issue is. I don't see him. I mean, he's assisting a decent amount, but, I mean, that could be it. I mean, 75, 400, I mean, 1,500. I mean, that might be it, but 40,000 is his income. He's stalling hard. Obviously, it doesn't help that satellite is taking stuff out, but he's just trying to balance it. He's been having a hard time. There it goes. He's back now, but... yeah, it might just be the assisting from his engineers. He's assisting here, assisting here. Lots of engineers building over here, over here. It might just be it. But Team 1 only has 400 mass income. Team 2 has 1.1k between the two of them. That attack is starting. Already 20% ACU still here. He hasn't moved in a while. A couple of shields nearby. Does get a soothsayer. That's super useful to have. That is the vision he can see just of the... that is huge. That is a huge section of the map. Almost... I'd say almost 33% of the map just by that one structure he can see. Oh, hold on. Here come the Strat Bombers. Strat Bombers are inbound. Get a nice little view. We have T1 Bombers as well. And that comm is DED. Unless that comm starts moving, which I don't know if he is. Bombs are dropping on top of those shields. They're not going to last very long. And he's also right next to a pigeon. That's not going to help. Oh, he's actually between 2 pigeons. Bombs drops. There he goes. He is dead. Didn't even need that many Strat Bombers. Needed probably like 2/3 of that. There it is. Team 2 wins the game with another Strat Bomber kill. That was a very interesting game here. Almost an hour long. Team 2 had 2 players left at the end of it. War Machine and Loaf. And in terms of MVP and MUP... I mean, War Machine did a very good job. Lots of gunships, constantly pressured his opponent. We had Sanoman's one teleport. Would have liked to see him teleport a little bit more. But it doesn't help that your opponent had a ton of gunships constantly like circling around. Really couldn't go after any sort of vital structures. Because he would have probably gotten the kill on it and then immediately killed off. So wasn't the best idea, of course. So he went for what he could, which, he got something, but I don't know if it was really worth it. I mean, Team 2's Loaf had a hard time getting in with any sort of land. He had a lot more success with his strat bombers than he did anything else, to be honest with you. His attacks would come in, do a little bit of damage, and then leave. Same thing over here. Would come in, do a little damage, and leave. And just leave a lot of mass for Team 1. Team 1 got a lot of mass from Team 2. Don't know. 47,000 just for Santa Man. I don't know what Maximus had. But a decent amount of mass just by himself. I don't know. I think MVP goes to War Machine. He had air mostly on lock, and he could do a little bit better with not sending his ASF to protect a couple of the bombers that are not going to die anyways. Could have kept those back and held them for another run, or just held them for bigger numbers. Gunships very much on point. Came in, took out some of the air grid, took out the crab, took out the emissary that was being built, took out most of the crab, took out the emissary that was being built, came in with another wave, took out the rest of the air grid. The air grid could not stay online long enough for Team 1 to really mount a huge air force. And honestly, that's what really kept Team 2 in the lead for the most part. Ground was back and forth, but air definitely resided in Team 2's favor. So I think MVP will go to War Machine. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and comment down below what you thought of the game, whether or not I'm right or wrong about the MVP choice. Thank you so much for watching. Please, I encourage everyone to hit the subscribe button, share this video with your friends, hit the like button as well. Help the algorithm out. Share this video to anyone and everyone who would be interested in FAF or just RTSs or just anything in general. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see all of you in the next one.